Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're tackling a concept that I think resonates with all of us, and that's freedom.
Freedom, yeah, it's one of those things, right? Everyone wants it, but what does it actually mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And luckily, we've got this really cool source that digs into freedom from like all these different angles, philosophy, spirituality, you name it.
Sounds intriguing.
It is. It even links freedom to this idea of knowing the truth. You wouldn't think those two things would be so connected, but
Well, I'm hooked already.
oh, you're going to love this. Okay, so the source kicks off with this powerful quote from Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who's survived the Holocaust.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He said, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way."
Wow. Powerful stuff.
Right. And to think he found that freedom in a concentration camp. That blows my mind.
Yeah, talk about resilience. It just shows you no matter what life throws at you, you always have the power to choose how you respond.
That's what Frankel's getting at. Even when everything else is stripped away, we still have that inner freedom, that ability to choose our attitude.
And that's huge. It's like even in the smallest things, even if you're just stuck in traffic, you can choose to be annoyed or you can choose to, I don't know, crank up the music and enjoy a little unexpected downtime.
It's a small shift, but it can make such a difference in your experience. And that's just one angle on freedom. I mean, this source goes on to explore how other, traditions and teachings approach freedom.
Like, for example, how Jesus Christ talked about freedom.
Exactly. And this is where things get even more interesting because the source ties freedom to this idea of knowing the truth.
Interesting. So it's not just about doing whatever you want, it's about aligning yourself with some kind of higher truth.
Right. And the source uses this example of, like, the Jews in the story who believed their lineage made them free. But their, like, assumptions about what freedom meant actually kept them from a deeper understanding of it.
Ah, I see. So it's like they thought they were free because of their heritage, but that wasn't the whole picture.
Exactly. It's like thinking, oh, I'm free because I was born in America or something. But that's just, external. This source is saying true freedom goes beyond that it comes from connecting with a higher truth, whatever that may be.
But wait, wouldn't tying freedom to a specific truth kind of be limiting? Like, how does that work with individual choice?
That's a great question. And, this is where it gets a little tricky. But what the source seems to be saying is that sometimes the truths we hold on to, even the ones we think are good, can actually limit us.
Like, our own beliefs and assumptions can hold us back.
Exactly. It's like an invitation to really examine those closely. Like, are they really serving us?
Yeah.
Or are they keeping us stuck in a rut, preventing us from experiencing true freedom? Whoa, that hits home. I can think of so many times I've clung to an opinion or belief, even when it was causing me more stress than anything else.
We all do it. It's part of being human. But this idea that letting go of certain truths could actually be liberating, that's pretty radical.
It is. And that brings us to another key part of this source, the role of Christ. It points to him as the ultimate source of true freedom.
Okay, so how does that work? Like, what kind of freedom are we talking about here?
Well, the source breaks it down into different types of freedom, like freedom from sin, for example.
So, like, breaking free from those habits and patterns that hold us back, even the ones that might feel good in the moment but ultimately don't serve us.
Exactly. And there's also freedom from, like, harmful desires, from spiritual oppression, which could be anything from negative thoughts to outside influences that are keeping us down.
And I think there was something in there about freedom from, like, divine judgment, too, right?
Yes, being at peace with a higher power.
Yeah.
It's a much bigger, more profound concept of freedom than just doing whatever you want.
Right. It's about inner liberation, not just outer freedom.
And the source doesn't just leave it at that. It actually gives us some practical advice. It says that continuing in Christ's teachings leads to greater freedom.
So it's not just a one-time thing, it's an ongoing process.
Yes, freedom's a journey, not a destination. As we learn and grow, especially through, applying these teachings, we can unlock deeper levels of freedom.
I love that. It's like freedom is something we constantly cultivate.
Absolutely. And you know what else is cool? The source talks about sharing these truths with others.
So, like, helping others find freedom can actually contribute to our own sense of liberation.
Exactly. It's like this beautiful cycle. All right, so we've covered a lot. We've learned that freedom isn't just about external circumstances. It's about making choices internally, aligning ourselves with truth, and this ongoing journey of spiritual liberation.
But how do we actually apply all this in our own lives?
That's the million-dollar question. It starts with awareness. We have to become aware of the truths we're holding on to and ask ourselves, are they really serving us? Are they helping us grow, become more free? Or are they keeping us stuck?
Right. Sometimes the things we think are true are actually the things that are holding us back the most.
Exactly. And that's what I want you all to think about today. What's one truth you're holding on to? Maybe something about yourself, a belief about the world, or even just a habit you can't break that might actually be limiting your freedom. Just something to ponder. Maybe letting go of that truth, or at least examining it a little closer, will open up new possibilities for experiencing a deeper sense of freedom in your own life.
Mm.
Until next time, keep exploring.
And keep seeking that freedom within yourselves.
See you next time.
Bye, everyone.